2 nights ago, I went to the bar with a friend, and apparently the plan was, which I didn't know, the plan was we were going to meet up with his friends, who, P.S., I don't know any of them. So I'm like having a mental breakdown before even going out because I know I'm going to be silent and awkward around these people since I don't know them. So when we went, first of all, it was one of those bars where people are allowed to smoke inside. They weren't smoking weed, surprisingly. Mostly everyone had a fat cigar in their mouth, puffing heavy smoke out here. So here we go. Now I'm in a territory where people are drinking and smoking at the same time. You would think it would be chaotic, but with such a combination, everyone was extremely chill and nice, it seemed. Second thing is that, I was looking around, I was peeking through, I was like, there are no females in here. It was a sausage fest. I made sure I looked at my phone. The bar I was at, I was looking at my phone where I was. I made sure this wasn't labeled a gay bar or something like that. Did someone troll me into getting to a gay bar? But it turns out it wasn't. It was just a guy's night out, I guess. And look, if it was hypothetically a gay bar, I would probably question my friend because he's a married man. So like, why would you be going to a gay bar and like, what I'm saying? Why would you bring me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would have stayed anyway because, like I said, the environment was chill. Everyone was smoking and drinking and having a good time, it seemed. So look, I met up with one of the friends, and then he offered to T-pain me and buy me a drink. Wee, and I declined. Not to be a buzzkill. I just don't want to drink because I barely know these people, and I'm like skinny, bro. One shot of Henny and I'm drunk. I hold no weight with liquor. You know how vulnerable I'll be in a potentially gay bar while I'm drunk? You don't know who is a booty bandit out there, and I gotta be alert and fully conscious. That's why. And also, as you guys know, I've been on medication since like July for like several things. The first thing I was told not to do was drink alcohol. I'm just gonna end up passing out. Then what? Being passed out in a gay bar, booty bandit sanctuary. But anyway, I'm just joking because lately I've seen a lot of aggressively emotional comments in my videos because sometimes satire is very difficult for a lot of people to mentally and socially comprehend. So I met my friend, his friends, and they were all awesome people. And we sat there for like 3 hours. It was so weird. We were talking about esoteric stuff the whole time. We were talking about like numerology, Kabbalah. One of my friends is Jewish. One of my friends, it's not even my friend. I guess he's my friend now, but one of his friends was Jewish. And he was explaining how to read the Torah to us and why the Torah is written a certain way. And we were talking about what the light really meant in religion. You know how God, if you believe in them, God said, let there be light. We were going through so many different interpretations of what the light means, and like the light you see before you die, and don't walk into it. So I felt like I met the perfect group of people here. I felt so happy that my friend introduced me to these guys. Now, one of the guys, he was sounding a little bit extra to me. He was saying that, he has a higher intuition about people. You know what I'm saying? Like he feels like his spirit tends to lift things up, or when he does things, he could ascend to a higher spiritual consciousness, as he would say, or something like that. And he was really good at reading people, if that's what he's claiming. Now, usually when people say this, from my experience, it goes either two ways. They're just observant, or they're gonna say something like they're magical or something like that. And he ended up going through the magical way. He was telling me that he's a doctor, which he actually is, by the way, but he also runs a side business where he does holistic medicine. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically somebody who believes in treating people through alternative remedies like, I don't know, herbs, massages, or yoga, or doing anything that helps the mind, spirit, and body, that type of medicine. This is different than going to a regular doctor and them just giving you medicine after telling you what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? He does both of that, though. So he told me, usually with his patients, he'll offer them alternative medicine if they're not happy with what they're currently dealing with. But he also will treat them through medical practices. And one of the guys who was with us, he wanted a reading. And the doctor guy was like, sure, let's do it. Stand up. So they both stood up, and I'm standing there, I'm watching this. And the doctor guy went behind him and placed his hand on the guy's right shoulder, then lowered his head like he was like praying in a sense. Then after like 20 seconds, he started pulling out a bunch of random trivia about this person. And it was accurate, but it felt very vague. Like this could apply to anyone. So I didn't say anything. I just watched as he did it. He did it to someone else too. I'm not going to call out someone or make a scene out of something I'm skeptical about. He then looked at me and he offered the same thing. And I said, sure. So I stood up and he placed his hand on my shoulder after standing behind me, right? And then he pressed his left hand on like the middle of my spine. And he said, "You have back issues," which is true. I mean, see, like, because I work from home and I'm on the computer the whole day. So naturally I have the gamer spine where I'm like kind of like bent forward a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's not psychic. You could probably tell that from just how he put his hand on my spine. You know what I'm saying? So like, then he pressed a certain area of my back. I don't remember which area, but he said, "You have underlying anxiety." And I laughed. And I said, "Yeah, I do have an anxiety. Well, I had an anxiety disorder when I was younger, but it's not too bad now." And then he pressed another part of my back and he said something very weird to me. He said, "Something happened to you when you were 15 that changed your whole perspective on how you think about things." And I stood there, baffled, confused. I don't know what happened at 15 years that changed my perspective on how I looked at things. There are other ages like 13 where there were significant events that I can recall that changed me. 15 though? Not really. I don't know. But then I really started to think about it. Did I ever really think about that age? And after he did that, he said, "There are more things I'm feeling, but it's private and I don't want to air it out in front of everybody." That's what he told me. So then we both sat back down and I'm quiet now because I feel weirded out. I'm like sitting there and they're having their conversation. They continue to have further conversations. And I'm sitting there with my arms crossed, just like almost zoning out, contemplating my life. That is such a broad thing to say, but you can say that to anybody. 15 years old is a turning point for a lot of young men and women. 16 years old, 15 years old, usually that's like, you know, sweet 16, that type of teenager type era in your life, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could have said that to anybody. I don't know what he's talking about. I've been thinking about it for the past few days though, because this was 2 days ago when we went to the bar. So I've been thinking about it. And I'm borderline thinking about, did he just troll me or something? Maybe? See, here's the thing. I don't know if I truly believe in psychics. And that's probably very strange to hear from me because I'm into that stuff. I did a tarot card reading or a tarot card reading for someone 2 months ago. Tarot or tarot cards, wherever you want to call them. That's considered a form of psychic ability or reading. You know, I like tarot cards. I like giving readings. But I do believe that everyone might be psychic to an extent, my personal beliefs. But this goes back to the whole rabbit hole. This goes down a rabbit hole about like the third eye and chakras and, you know, all that stuff. And whether you want to believe in that stuff or not, I think it's best to hear every perspective or at least entertain the idea just slightly. And depending on how much you can tolerate about it, you can then choose to believe in psychic abilities to an extent, right? And I was thinking about contacting him and asking him for an actual reading, but I don't know if I'm gonna hear the things I want to hear. I feel like psychics, people who claim they're psychic, they usually just use the power of suggestion to get information out of you. Like, they'll ask questions or word things a certain way to perform mental gymnastics out of a conversation, and then that's how they'll get information out of you. I don't know. I know someone who said someone who I met like, I don't know how many, like 2 years ago. This guy told me he was psychic, and he told me that they can't do psychic readings unless they're like in a room where like there's barely any energy besides like the person who is psychic and the person doing the reading. Apparently, you can't do a psychic reading unless it's just two people in the room. So I don't know how. Meanwhile, we're in a full-blown bar. This guy. Why can't I speak for some reason? I don't know why I'm like slurring. I don't want to fall for these games. That's the thing. Okay. See, I'm like overthinking stuff right now. I think that's why that's happening to me. Do you guys think like he may have been onto something? Do you believe in psychics? Is this stuff real to you? Listen, let me know down below. Maybe I'll think about contacting him again and telling you guys what he read. If you guys think it's a good idea, though. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not being trolled or something like that. This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. Times Square. Nightmare 7 a.m. in the morning, though. No surprise. Times Square's you and I under those lights. No disguise. Don't
tell me everything you wanted was a lie. All those city lights, it's an endless night. Never expected you to bring me so much life. Close my eyes too long, then it's time to say goodbye. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Caution, wait a moment, keep my heart locked, the way it's filled with emotion. Gave the key to you, right in front of you is open. Hey, try your best to not leave it broken. Oh, it's been a while since you know it's frozen.